All righty then. So we're not going to have Robert tonight. He was having some issues with his computer, and we tried to do a few other things to get his computer up and running so that we could have sound, but it's not happening. So what he wanted to do actually was come to my home and do a live studio kind of interview, and I thought, well, we'll do that. Okay, we can do that. So we're going to probably do that Saturday evening and do a live broadcast. Robert is a very lively individual. I enjoy him very much. When I met him, he was just an amazing person. He and his family run several care facilities for care homes for people who need help. And that's kind of how I met him. But anyway, I want to kind of share with you, because we're not going to do this tonight. I want to share with you folks why I'm doing this, okay? For those of you who know me, you've seen me kind of bounce around and flounder and bounce around and flounder some more. And probably the most difficult thing for me is I have a full work week and, it has to pay for the bills and all those different things. But I love doing all of this from the time that I first moved up here to Tacoma, and for all the reasons that I moved up here to Tacoma, it's been transitional for me. So, I'm a person of faith. I have core beliefs. I have tons of academic research, and there's so many different things that I no longer believe and so many other things that I'm exploring. But when it comes to people, I think people are the most amazing thing in all of my world. So I just like the contact and to Dr. Dina Dye told me, she met Dennis Prager, and he said, and I'm going to try to quote what she quoted to me. He said, the question is not why is there evil in the world, but why is there good? And that has resonated with me from the moment she spoke those words to me, because I see the good in the world. I see the chaos and the crazy and all the insanity, and I understand that we got some hard days ahead of us if we keep going down this slippery slope. But I also see the good people. Doesn't matter what religious belief here's the thing about religion. I'm not a religious person in the way that I came to understand religion, but I know that there are people within all sorts of religious beliefs and have all kinds of history in their families and whatnot and how they believe. But they're good people. There's good people in every one of those religious systems. There's good people in my neighborhood. There's good people all around us. And sometimes I don't think we focus on the good that people bring into the world. So my attempt to do Let's Talk About It, this is another thing that Jeff Morton wants to do, but I'm always wanting to do something with people, whether we disagree or agree. That, I think the best part of all of this is being able to work through disagreement. I mean, why would you want to sit in a room, like Skip Moen said, with people who agree with every word that comes out of your mouth? So I'm totally fine with that. But in the Western culture, disagreement means separation. And I just don't believe that has to be the case. So anyway, the reason why I want to do Let's Talk About It is because I want to give individuals who are doing good things an opportunity to have a voice and just a conversation. I enlisted the help of a friend of mine. His name is Carol. He's 85 years old, and I've known him for, about 15, 16 years. I've asked him if he can help me do some things, and I'm going to pay him. And he said today that I think I can help you. Well, he's helped me in the past in many, many ways, but also it gives him something to do. So what I'm trying to do is do something a little bit more professional. I don't want to do another podcast. I want to just have conversations with people who are doing something and to let them talk about what they're doing. The reason why I did this broadcast tonight, which didn't go over very well, but the one with Ruth Nabido, is because I mean, you see, Larry Elder gave me this shirt. I did a whole presentation on the movie Uncle Tom. I am not a person who identifies with the color of my skin, but the content of my character. And I thank my mother for that. My mother was wonderful. We just lost her September the 23rd of last year. But my mother was wonderful because she didn't allow that kind of stuff. So I wasn't raised with all that stuff. Racism to me and bigotry and hatred, I saw that in the black community against white people when I was growing up, and I didn't want any part of it. And then as I got older and went out into the world, I saw racism in different levels from all kinds of people. And I realized, racism is not a color thing. It's a condition of the human heart. And so I just refuse to be in that lane. Totally 100% refuse to be in that lane because I think, I go look at flowers and I see the colors and they're beautiful, and I kind of see the same thing in people. So the colors of people to me are just another form of beauty. And I just like to embrace that. That's kind of my whole heart. That's why I wrote the book on color and race. So for me, let's talk about it is my venture into saying, hey, let's talk about it. Let's get past the lack of civility. Let's get past the disagreement. Let's find out what really you think. So the African American thing has always been an issue for me because I find that most black Americans that I've known my entire life don't know a thing about Africa. I didn't either until I started looking at a few things, but I've never been there. So I started asking all these questions of Africans from Kenya, Nairobi, Uganda, different places throughout Africa, the continent, and they all said the same thing. Literally, I think there was one person who had a different spin on it, but almost all of them said the American black is culturally American, is not connected to America or Africa at all, and a lot of them feel like they're actually discriminated against from the black community, which is what Ruth spoke about last night. If you see that, you can go to see all these things that I'm going to do on my website, freefromfear.us. I'm kind of shifting gears with that a little bit. But they almost all say they're treated differently by black people in America. And Robert, who is very vocal about this, really wanted to come on and talk about that. He's been successful here in this country. And they all have a different take. And I think sometimes black America needs to hear that. And so that's why I wanted to do these two shows. And I'm going to move into different topics and do other things. But for me, guys, let me see if there's any. You guys can make comments. And so far, I don't have any comments. I think. Live viewer comments show up in stream. This is an example. Click comment to show on the screen. Okay, so this is something I'm learning how to do. And can't post comments to Facebook profile. Okay, whatever. So I'm trying to set this up so that it's goes out on my Facebook page, which Facebook is a struggle for me. Same with YouTube, but this is what we have to operate. This is what I have. And a friend of mine said to me, and I'm going to kind of share something with those of you who are listening. So Jeff, you're getting so caught up in a particular area of your life that you're really unhappy with, that is kind of shutting you down in other areas that you love. And he said to me, literally a few days ago, get back into doing what you love so it can offset the difficulty you're having in this particular area of your life. My wife and I, we are doing fantastic. Michelle is sometimes overwhelmed. My children are fine. Life is good. I've just been I don't want to get into all of that. I love what I've learned. And I want to explore that. I want to do more with that. But unfortunately, I got a lot to pay for. And so I have to kind of keep working at what we do. It's difficult, okay? At the same time, I've done it for, 33 years. So this is my passion. You people make my heart beat. And that's kind of how I see the world. So I'm going to try to develop this thing called Let's Talk About It. When you come onto the program and we sit down and chat, we're going to talk about you and what you're doing and what you have to offer and how your life is. Whether you're from Kenya, whether you're from Nairobi, whether you're from Uganda, Ukrainian, Russia, China, it doesn't matter. There's one human race on this planet. And I think sometimes we miss the opportunity to appreciate that. So this is Jeff. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time here. I love what I'm doing. I got to learn all this stuff, and hopefully I've got some good support and some help, and hopefully this will be something long term. Anyway, I'm all done. I don't have anything else to say. Robert was real frustrated because we couldn't hear him, so we had to cancel the broadcast. But he actually wants to come and sit in this room with me on Saturday evening and do the live presentation. He's extremely animated. I think you'll get a kick out of him. But I really want some of the Black American folks that I know. Sometimes I think we need to hear what an African's perspective is. And that's kind of why I'm doing this show. It's not to disparage or throw Black America under the bus. You know, I get hit with all kind of stuff because I just don't fall into that victim mentality. I don't do the race thing. I just don't. You know, I think people are beautiful. I think they're amazing. And I just refuse to. I have no problem with cultural differences. I have no problem. Okay? But when I address how I feel about the race issue, I'm blacklisted, blackballed. You just go down the list. I deal with a lot of stupid stuff from just about everybody when it comes to the race issue, because that's what Americans do. And I just refuse to participate in that. And I call that, really, I almost named that book on coloring stupid, because I kind of think all of that is stupid. You know, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself is not just a reckless statement somebody threw in a book and said, hey, that sounds good. I think there's some merit in that, and I kind of live my life that way. Anyway, sorry we couldn't get Robert on here tonight. We'll make up for it. And if you have something that you want to talk about, and you don't mind going live on YouTube and live on Facebook and eventually live on Winkin, I'm a conservative, so I gravitate towards those type things. But yeah, sure, we can sit down and talk about it. I just appreciate you guys. Okay, so this is Jeff. I'm checking out. Have a good night. Bye-bye.